And we'll get the show started. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the newest episode of the 2021 NFL Mock Draft. I am your host, Juan Rodriguez. As always, you people call me Junior, JR, good old JR. It's all the same. But today it is a good day. It is Thursday, one day before Friday, and we have the Indianapolis Colts on the clock here. Indianapolis is a very, very fun team to cover. So without further ado, let's just get to it. As always, you can always like the show, subscribe to the show, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, follow us everywhere. And if you need help with that, message me. I will get to you there. But let's get started with their draft class, which some general managers around the NFL called it the best draft class from last year. So they didn't have a first rounder, but they did have a high second, which was really good, and that was due to the whole Quentin Nelson trade. So that trade is now over. So with their first picks, second round, 34th pick, Michael Pittman Jr., the wide receiver out of USC, 13 games he only played in. He missed 3 to a creepy leg injury, but didn't really set him back that much. He did 3, and it was, yeah, he was a good complementary piece to T.Y. Hilton when he did play. Michael Pittman is a good target. He's tall, fast, perfect wide receiver position for the Indianapolis Colts. So that was a good pickup. Second round, staying 7 picks later, 41, Jonathan Taylor, the running back out of Wisconsin. That was a good pickup as well. He is now the full starter for Indy. It was weird. He should have been a first rounder. But again, it's just the way how the draft works. Sometimes running backs don't get valued that high. I guess it depends on the draft itself. But he went to the Colts. Good offensive line. Great ball player all around. Great starter for the Colts. So now you got 2 starters on offense. Justin Blackman, safety. He is now the starter. He was a starter. Safety out of Utah. Again, high grade for a rookie again. This is, to get 1, 2, 3 starters with your first 3 draft picks. That's what you want to do. That's exactly how you kill the draft. And then 4th round, Jacob Eason did not play due to the fact that Phillip Rivers was there. He kind of came in sometimes, but it was just kind of like, either Jacoby wasn't doing it for the backup role, but he didn't really see that much action. Danny Pinter, he started a couple of games, so there's another one in the 5th round. Offensive lineman out of Ball State. Robert Windsor, he played in a couple games, so he contributed. And then this is exactly what I was talking to Josh yesterday. Your late rounders, you want to hit special teams aces in each of those rounds, and all 3 of them ended on the rookie grade for special teams. Isaiah Rodgers, corner out of UMass, special teams ace. Desmond Patman, the wide receiver out of Washington State, special teams ace. Jordan Glasgow, safety out of Michigan, special teams ace. You can see why a lot of general managers truly believe, and I believe, that the Colts had the best draft class out of anybody last year. So kudos to them. They did their due diligence, and it was just another great draft by another good organization, by Chris Ballard, again, who seems to always have those best draft classes. They know how to develop. So kudos to them. Season starts. They got Phillip Rivers, last free agency. They ended up going 11-5. 9th on offense, 10th on defense. It looked amazing. It looked like the Colts were really hot contenders. They ended up getting the wild card, but they lost to Buffalo in a really close matchup, 27-24. Buffalo was just riding a hot streak that no one could stop at that point, and Indy could have won. It's just, coulda, shoulda, woulda, but they had a great season. So they went 11-5, 9th in offense, 10th on defense. And really this team now feels like a sleeper contender, at least in the AFC side, to at least reach the Super Bowl. If they can get past Kansas City, if they can just keep up with Kansas City, and then they can beat the Titans, win the division, and maybe get a high seed next year, if they can just have a repeat of last year, this year, they're going to be a tough team. They're going to be a really tough team to beat. So 11-5, season was over. Kind of a letdown. Phillip Rivers retired. And, free agency started and they did the ultimate trade with the Eagles. They traded Carson Wentz. They traded for Carson Wentz, so now he is an Indianapolis Colt. We'll see how this plans out. I think what it is we kind of know Carson Wentz, the Eagle. It hasn't really worked out for him in Philadelphia due to the fact that maybe they just didn't put a team around him. But it was just both of those guys Carson Wentz had to leave Philadelphia, and Philadelphia had to move on from Carson Wentz. It was just an ugly, ugly marriage. So he goes to Indianapolis. He goes to a team that has great defense, great offensive line, great special teams play. So he's finally gonna get a chance to see what it's like to have talent around him. And if he fails here, then it's really him. So they traded a lot, and they're putting all their eggs in one basket to get this guy to maybe take them to the next level. So we'll see. But other than that, free agency was kind of slow for them. They did lose Denico Autry to Tennessee. Jacoby Brissett, the backup, he is now in Miami. Anthony Walker Jr. is now in Cleveland. Tavon Wilson, the safety out of San Francisco, or is now leaving to San Francisco. Tremon Smith, the corner out of Houston, he's heading to Tremon Smith, the corner, he's now heading into Houston. So that was kind of they lost some depth there and they lost the starter. But on the bright side, T.Y. Hilton did resign, so now the Michael Pittman T.Y. Hilton combo can stay one more year together. Marlon Mack is back. I didn't even know I could rap, but so he's back. He is now the backup to Jonathan Taylor, and it is a good 1-2 combo. Marlon Mack can play, and for him to take the contract when he could have gone somewhere else and tried free agency to re-sign, that's a good deal. Xavier Rhodes, he's back, so that's another key piece right there. Xavier Rhodes had a really good bounce back year last year, and I only expect him to get better. They got Sam Tebby from the Chargers, Isaac Rochell from the Chargers, and Julian Davenport from Miami. So overall, it was just a really good class for Indy, free agency-wise. They got the quarterback that they wanted. The free agency's there. The draft class is there. It's just, can they put it together? Can they finally just put it all together? Because it seems like they're always that one team that they look great every single year and they make it into the playoffs, but they always have a letdown. Always. And they have a good team. They have one of the best teams in the NFL. Really well-run organization, top to bottom, from ownership all the way to the janitor. It's just a top-notch organization. And this team really is just one piece away. Maybe they're just one more good, solid draft class away from going to the next level. As I mentioned, Michael Pittman, that's a starter. Jonathan Taylor's a starter. Justin Blackmon's a starter. All these guys, really, all they did was just elevate the team from the previous year, and so on and so forth. And Chris Ballard should be getting more recognition as a top NFL general manager, in my opinion. It's just, the team just, for whatever reason, whatever the powers beyond me, it just seems like there's always a bad luck case or a bad case of, they just bad luck. And, the names they lost are very significant. Like Denico Autry, he can ball. And now he's heading to Tennessee, which is kind of a, division rival. And it's kind of like a slap to the face. Jacoby Brissett, he's heading to Miami to be the backup now to Tua. Anthony Walker looks like he might get some starter playing time somewhere else, especially in Cleveland. So that Cleveland defense just got a lot better with Anthony Walker. Tavon Wilson was good depth, and he's going to be great depth for San Francisco. And then Tremon Smith was a good slot, fourth man special teams ace. He's now going to Houston to compete for those same roles again. But I think what really intrigues me is this Carson Wentz thing. This Carson Wentz trade is going to either make or break the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts are really just one piece away from putting it all together. They're maybe just one draft class away from putting it all together. The Colts are taking the biggest risk here. They're taking the biggest risk because they know what Carson Wentz was in Philly. They know the injuries. They know the stories. Maybe this is one of those things where maybe he can only work with Frank Wright. Remember, when Carson Wentz was at his MVP level, Frank Wright was the offensive coordinator. He was the offensive coordinator for Carson Wentz, and he brought the best out of him. So maybe this was just meant to happen. Maybe Frank Wright just said, hey, you know what? I know I can win with this guy, and he already knows my system, so why not bring him along? But again, that was a few seasons ago. It's a different league now. I said yesterday, the NFL is a week-to-week, year-to-year basis. We don't know how Carson Wentz is going to mesh with these guys. They have to if there's a team out there that has to have OTAs, training camp, mini camps, it has to be the Colts. They have to put it all together. Carson Wentz has to get it together. He cannot wait. He has to win immediately. Because Phillip Rivers took this team 11-5. Carson Wentz is a little bit younger, a little bit more athletic, so he should be able to get a few more wins with this same team. So it just comes down to, how much effort and how much work ethic does Carson Wentz have left. This season's going to really show if Carson Wentz does love football. With everything around him and everybody, with all the talent finally that he has in the world, does he love the game? Is there a little bit of ounce of love in that game for Carson Wentz? And this is going to show everything. So, we'll see. I'm excited. And like I said, T.Y. Hilton's back. Marlon Mack is back. Xavier Rhodes back. That's going to help them out starter-wise. And then Sam Tebby, Julian Davenport, Isaac Rochelle, good depth. So, really, the Colts are just one more solid draft class away. I'm not saying that they have to have another draft class like this. It's hard to go back-to-back in good years. But with Chris Ballard, I'm not going to put anything past him. He knows what he's doing. So here we go. So what is the missing piece? Is it a lineman? Maybe. Is it another wide receiver? Maybe. Is it probably getting better on defense, which is pretty hard to explain knowing that they were the 10th best defense? Maybe. But in my opinion, the Colts are just one more draft class away from putting it together. And they could be a sleeper team to finally be the new representative for the AFC if everything just clicks together. So here we go. With the 21st pick in the 2021 draft class, the Indianapolis Colts select Jalen Phillips, defensive end out of Miami. Now, for the people that don't know Jalen Phillips, his story and his college career is very interesting. It is an interesting college story that people should take time to look into. So he is from Redlands, California. That's right. You heard that right. He is from Redlands, California. How did he end up in Miami? Well, let's talk about it. He's 6'5", 266. When he came into the NCAA, when he started playing college ball, he actually went to UCLA. And he looked everything that you would think of as a top recruit. He looked everything. He had the size, the weight, the speed, the skill, everything, the work ethic. It's just what got him was just nagging injuries. So in 2017, he only played 7 games. His season was cut short due to an ankle injury, so that was kind of the end of it. But in those 7 games, 21 tackles, 3.5 sacks, 2 pass deflections in those 7 games. He came back, he hit the weight room, did everything he could for recovering. 2018 was a really scary year for him. It was a really scary moment. He only played in 4 games, and in those 4 games, 20 tackles, 1 sack. He only played in 4 because in the 4th game of the season, he suffered a concussion, and he decided right there, you know what? He medically retired. It was the concussion, but it was also back-to-back injury-plagued seasons where it was just, he was a smart kid, and he said, I'm just going to stick to college. ride it out. But he in his heart, he kind of felt that football was kind of done. That football, he did everything he could for the game, and he walked away with grace, and he just wanted to be a student on an athletic scholarship, and that was it. Well, 2019 was a surprise because he hit the portal, the transfer portal, and he chose Miami. And this is how he got to Miami. He entered the transfer portal when everybody thought he was done. And I guess for whatever reason, Manny Ramirez, Coach Manny had a really good talk with him, and I guess he just convinced him enough to give football one more shot. Obviously in the transfer portal, once you transfer, you have to miss that year. So in 2019, he was just rehabbing, hitting the books, being a good student athlete, and he was just, redshirted his junior year. 2020 is when everything came alive. Everything came up. What the season that he had in Miami was what UCLA fans and UCLA were hoping for. 2020, his lone season in Miami, 45 tackles, 8 sacks, 1 interceptions, and 3 pass deflections. This is why he was regarded as one of the top players in the nation. And even in his UCLA days, people were already penciling him in as a first rounder because of his height, his weight, and his work ethic, athleticism, all that stuff. And, the season was over. Second team All-American in 2020, second team All-ACC in 2020, and USA Today All-American in 2016, his senior year of high school. So he had all the accolades ready to go. He had all the charisma, everything you're looking for in a player. Charisma, work attitude, work ethic. Priorities were in order. It's just injuries plagued his season at UCLA. He found it in his heart to try football one more time. Came to Miami, had a great year, went to the Senior Bowl, had great practices, and then the pro day happened, and this is why he is now penciled in as a first rounder, that he has first round talent. His pro day was off the charts. 36-inch vertical, 10 feet 5-inch broad jump, 21 bench press, 225. He did that 21 times as a defensive end. Usually they're like in the 15 to 18, but to get to 21, that's when he's putting in the work. He's putting in the work, and he's only going to get stronger from here. And then he ran the 40 in 4.5. I'm not saying that the Colts need help on defense, but the problem was on the defensive side, yeah, the sacks were good. The only thing that was kind of killer was stopping the run. And I know they did good, but they can be better. They can be better. And Jalen Phillips would be a great asset to that defense to help stop the run just a little bit better. They're still going to get the turnovers. They're still going to get to the quarterback. But if they can just improve on stopping the run just a little bit, they're going to be fine. They're going to be definitely fine. So I think this is going to be a match made in heaven for Jalen. He's back after that 2020 season with the Miami Hurricanes. He is back. With Gregory Rousseau leaving, opting out for 2020. And, Miami fans were kind of, well, I hope Jalen Phillips can fill the role. And he did his thing. So in my opinion, Jalen Phillips should be going to the Colts here. I think it's a match made in heaven, and I think he's going to love the system that Indy's running, and he's going to fit right in, and he's going to contribute right away. And I think this is a guy going to Indy. I think it's just a perfect match for him. From almost quitting football together to going to the best opportunity for him right now, Jalen Phillips would be the best pick for Indianapolis. But you never know. I want to hear from you guys. You let me know what you guys think. Is Jalen Phillips a good pick? Is he worth it here? Is there somebody better out there? Or is it maybe a different position that the Indianapolis Colts should be looking at? You guys let me know in the comments. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. It was a little bit of an early video only due to the fact that today it is my birthday, so we kind of have a little bit of a dinner plans. And it's a little bit of a quicker video today, but tomorrow we get with the Titans. They are on the clock tomorrow, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. Again, we're going to talk about everything Titans tomorrow, the draft class from last year, the season that they had, my MVP choice, why Derrick Henry should have won MVP, and their free agency so far, and who I think the Titans should take to kind of take the next step to get into farther playoff contention. So overall, I want to thank everybody for commenting. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I want to thank everybody for those birthday wishes. It was amazing. Thank you. I just, it is a little bit of an earlier video, a little bit of a shorter video today. But, as always, I appreciate the love. I appreciate the support. I will see you guys tomorrow when the Titans are now on the clock. So tune in, have fun, enjoy yourselves today, and God bless everybody. Take care now.